Hi, everybody. This is Dr. William Clark, pastor of Second Baptist Church here in New Britain, Connecticut. This is your second installment for Holy Week. We're going over the last 7 words of Jesus, or the last 7 emotions of Jesus before he died on the cross. And yesterday we covered forgiveness. We read out of Luke chapter 23, verse 34. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. He established a very powerful word for us. A word to focus on letting go of the things that are holding us bound, that are keeping us hostage. And now we're going to move on to the next emotion here. Let's jump over to Luke chapter 23, verses 39 to 43. Luke chapter 23, verses 39 to 43. Let me go ahead and roll this through in your hearing, or read this in your hearing rather. And this is what it says. Starting at verse 39, we're going to end at verse 43. One of the criminals who were hanged railed at him, saying, "Are you not the Christ? Save yourself and us." But the other rebuked him and said, "Do you not fear God, since you are under the same sentence of condemnation? And we indeed justly, for what we receiving the due reward of our deeds. But this man has nothing wrong, has done nothing wrong." And he said, "Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom." This is the second words of Jesus, and this is what he said. He said unto him, "Truly I say to you, today you will be with me in paradise." Truly I say to you, today you will be with me in paradise. Now, the second emotion I want to highlight here of this particular text for this particular week is the emotion of elation. The emotion of elation. Now, what does elation mean? Elation is defined as being happy or exhilarated, being excited about something that is taking place. And because of what Jesus just heard from this particular person who is hanging next to him, Jesus is saying something that is a result of happiness, something that he is excited about that's coming forth. Now, remember, Jesus in the process of dying, he's already been nailed to the cross, already been beaten, already has the crown of thorns on his head. He's being talked about. He just got talked about again by someone who is hanging right next to him. But now he's hearing the flip side of this particular message from this individual who's on the other side of him. This particular individual offers this on-ramp of hope for himself and for others, but he says, we deserve what we're going through. We deserve what we got. We're here under the same condemnation of Jesus, meaning that we've been taken through a trial, accused of something, taken to a trial, convicted, and now here is the sentence of the execution of our sentence. And so we deserve all this. But this man in verse 42 says to Jesus, regardless of what this guy is saying, I fear God. I believe you've done nothing wrong. I believe you are the Son of God. So please remember me when you come into your kingdom. So the elation of Jesus shows up when he says, today you will be with me in paradise. Today you will be with me in paradise. This idea of paradise is this place of future happiness. This place where there's joy and there's excitement and there's elation. There's this feeling of euphoria where Jesus knows that once I get into paradise, I need y'all to hear me when I say this. Once I get into paradise, I am returning to my original home. I am returning back to the place where I was born, the place where I spent all of my time, the place where I left my glory. I gladly came down to earth to do the will of the Father and to sacrifice for his children. I gladly did it. But man, it hurt to leave my crown behind. It hurt to leave the Father behind. Later on, we're going to read one of the words of Jesus where he explores and expresses that disconnect that he felt with the Father by not being in heaven. So he's looking forward to this future state, this future place of happiness, this place called paradise. And because of his forecasting of looking forward to this, he is saying to this man, when I get there, truly I say to you today, meaning when we give our last breath, when we die, when we pass on from this world, you're going to be with me in paradise. That emotion of happiness is amazing. Can I encourage you today to look at your situation differently? Can I encourage you today to look at your family different, your job different, your finances different, your health different? Can I challenge you to look at the church different? Can I challenge you to look at the ministry different? Can I challenge you to look at your community different and everything around you? Even though things are not the way you want them to be, even though things are not turning out the way that will make you feel the best about where you're going and what's happening, can I encourage you to listen out for a word of hope? Notice before Jesus spoke this word, it was a negative word coming from somebody who was going through the very same thing he's going through, followed up by a word of positivity and hope that was spoken by someone who was going through the same thing he was going through. This is not about listening out for a word because you have an itching ear. This is about listening out for a word that's tied to hope and faith. Isn't that amazing that even this week of Holy Week, where we're celebrating the essence of our faith, the foundations of our faith, Jesus needed somebody to speak a word to encourage his faith, and that allowed him to release a word that said, I'm happy. I'm preparing for a day that's coming. I'm preparing for a moment that's coming, a moment that I look forward to over the past 33 and a half years. And because I'm looking forward to it, you know what? When I get there, you're going to be with me as well. I want to challenge you to look at your situation and realize that whatever I'm going through is temporary. Whatever I'm struggling with, it's temporary. Whatever I'm feeling, it's temporary. Remember, these are the last 7 emotions, the last 7 words of Jesus. It's temporary. All this back talk and criticizing and challenging my God status and who I am and what I came to do, it's temporary. Don't worry about it. There's something else coming. I want to challenge you this day, this week, to remember that whatever you're going through, it's temporary. Because what's coming after this is paradise. Meaning, even while we're waiting to get to heaven, we can have a heaven on earth, paradise here, while we're waiting for God and his son to return. May God bless you.